not the time we for better, we country, we for come together as a family, live in peace and harmony. So during this election, that's not to option. During this election, we don't want no tribal division. All we want for see, vote without violence. Vote in peace. Vote without violence. Till the end they say, vote without violence. Vote in peace. Vote without violence. Till the end they say, all we want for sin. Vote without violence. All we want for sin. All we want for sin. Vote without violence. Till the end they say, all we want for sin. Vote without violence. All we want for sin. All we want for sin. Vote without violence. Now not the time we for better, we country, we for come together as a family, live in peace and harmony. So during this election, that's not to option. During this election, we don't want no tribal division. All we want for see, vote without violence. Voting. Vote without violence. Till the end they say, vote without violence. Vote in peace. Vote without violence. Till the end they say, all we want for sin. Vote without violence. All we want for sin. All we want for sin.
Indeed, all we want for sin now a vote without violence. Good afternoon and welcome to the program Current Events where they come to you on TDN Africa Media. And we will bring the program come to you. My name na AMADU S. Bar.
And my name is EZEKIEL KOROMA.
Inside the program Current Events, we can talk about things that when they happen and we can't see Mama Salon. Like now, we can make analysis and as well take your own view na the program. You can be part of the program by sending in your text message or call me to the number where they shown on the screen, or you drop your comments in the comment section. We go read them out as we believe say your voice really matter inside this program here. So and as TDN Africa Media they are so for bring you independent, credible and unbiased news. And inside the program this afternoon we want to talk about the Commonwealth observers the press conference where they just finished this morning na the Mamiyoko Radisson Blue Hotel na Aberdeen, and we go also analyze the political tension, especially that we get for do with the All People's Congress, then demand we then make to the ECSL, and as we all know, then we don't say then we'll get for take on the streets of Freetown today for call on the resignation of the electoral commissioner, the chief electoral commissioner, I beg your pardon, any other commissioner then for resign, and as well make request for the data. We'll go for talk about them in day and how them in day don't they unfold so far. Continue for the watch the program and not forget say yourself can be part of the program by calling or texting to the number where they shown at the screen. We'll go for a short break. Once we come back and for can talk about them in the year. So continue for the watch the program.
Now not the time we for better, we country, we for come together as a family, live in peace and harmony. So during this election, that's not to option. During this election, we don't want no tribal division. All we want for see, vote without violence. Vote in peace. Vote without violence. Till the end they say, vote without violence. Vote in peace. Vote without violence. Till the end they say, all we want for sin.
All right, welcome back, listeners. You they listen to the program Current Events where they come live at TDN Africa Media, and today inside the program Current Events we want for start with the Commonwealth, the conference we then get today. We want to discuss details on how what's not the outcome of the conference, and there will be no things the way the Commonwealth self don't will discuss. Well, we get to report we will cover the conference day, and I believe it gets a lot for Terry. And at the end of the day, we will learn from what come on from the conference. So over to you, Amadu. How the Commonwealth will kind of look like, and first of all, and so how the conference will look like, and would that then invite another conference that family will actually know, and also tell you what's not the purpose, why the Commonwealth called that kind of conference. We all know say an election time, and we get various international observers, and Commonwealth are one of them. So you will tell family more about the conference where you attend this morning.
All right, Fumble. Then, just like waiting, my colleague Ezekiel don't say, TDN Africa Media have been fortunate for cover the press conference of the Commonwealth observers. Then this morning, where the events, the Olam na the Radisson Blue Mamiyoko Hotel na Aberdeen, and the conference being well attended by media houses from various media outlets then. And in fact, we get the former president for the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, in the person of Kelvin Lewis. He did it in person. And we also get other senior journalists then from various media houses then we did it, including the Commonwealth observers then within the country. We also see other private institutions, civil society institutions, women's group. They all been there at this particular press conference here. So also one of the main purpose of the meeting now for like able for give updates to people then that the Commonwealth observers then don't arrive, and that then comprises of 12 observers within the team, as according to waiting then puts forward after we then ask them how much people then come. And then also highlight their own role we then get for play during this particular election, which is one for observe pre-election, that is to say every aspect of the election before we go into the election, observe polling day, and as well observe other things that we get for do with media, because then believe say if the media not going to be impartial, and for observe again for make sure say transparency day in the whole electionary process, but then actually make them very clear to people and say their role now for observe, and as well make recommendations, and as well make engagement with stakeholders of the states and other institutions, so to speak, and their role not to become meddle into the affairs of the electionary process, but for observe how the process they go. So they get limited interference in the whole electionary process. And as they don't come, they don't engage the media today. And by the 22nd of this month, then we don't dispatch all the members them for going at various areas them inside the day. Of course, the Commonwealth Observers Week and Salon, headed by the former president, vice president of the Republic of Federal Republic of Nigeria, in the person of Yemi Adesoji for the former vice president. I beg your pardon. So we see Usai then put out a press release after we don't read out, but most likely now before updates members of the public, and as well as updates fumble them on the mandate of the whole observers. Then we come and tell me who that then at this observers mission. Of course, it says they get electionary expert then they people that we don't do elections business. As a matter of fact, they even carry somebody we you know be electoral commissioner and Indian, and it don't supervise or oversee election we therefore do with billions of people as according to them. So that person that they can't help with observers expertise and electionary expertise through the observation, so then they do for make recommendations as to what will happen for Salone. They also go ahead and say they get a team of judges them. We they part of this particular team, and that team they go get for engage the justice sector of Sierra Leone, because they believe say the justice sector as well gets role for play. They also
excuse me. So mean the 12 observers, and then you've found the judges.
Yes, exactly, exactly. They get different people from different sector, even from leadership points, and from leadership points, I think in way that the former vice president for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the immediate former vice president, as we all know, they serve in the capacity of leadership, as in person we don't lead country once, being the second man of that particular republic, and we see Usai, the head of the Commonwealth observers, the former vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, give fine sentiment towards the country, Mama Salone, and they express lots of facts. They express lots of facts around the peace. They emphasize, say, from where they come, they feel like they're home. In fact, he referred to Salone as home, and as well as ask questions that being asked around the data, around how they feel about the electionary process. And of course, they've been very honest enough for say we just come. We not go able to make much impact right now in terms of making recommendations. It go wrong for local, begin judge show. So primarily for now, then they engage stakeholders, according to them, then plan for engage the ECSL on some of them complaints they are with the lawyer, and they also get plan for engage the political party leaders. As to them, one of the things we then think say they want to engage the political leaders them on, now the fact that barely 3 weeks ago, when the leaders then sign up to the peace pledge, we emphasize say one of the things that we the leader then sign up to now for make sure say they get a free, fair, violence-free election, and that's for them now the Commonwealth. That's not the one paramount thing we then get for pay attention to. Of course, they don't see say a lot of things and don't they show up so far in the electionary process, but then they call upon the political leaders not to forget that particular pledge day we then sign up to, and then strive for stay neutral by stating that they're not going able to give any judgment on any of the situations right now, being that they're not get right or meddle into the electionary affairs or the operations of the ECSL, because they believe saying a state institution, rather than will get an engagement and consultative meeting with them on some of them in the so, and they even go ahead and say by the 26th of this month, probably after we don't vote, then we'll put out the first reports where now they then will highlight waiting, they don't find out from the pre-election to the polling in terms of the impartiality of the media, and as well as the transparency and credibility of the whole elections. EZEKIEL.
Okay. Which family again want to understand is that you mentioned say after during or after elections, that the 26th, they get for pull out their first report. So that means they're not going for do they're not going for pull any report before elections.
Well, according to them, which they say there are 3 phases of reports, and their own reports then can get from an independent point of view. For reach that independent point of view, then they take them now from the pre-election to the polling, media partiality or media impartiality, I beg your pardon, and then transparency and credibility around electionary process. So now then for also try to see how they get engagement with the leaders there. So they emphasize on some of the things they being that and now then just they come, that then we only able for dispatch then different observers then will come on the 22 of this month. Thus, then we only pull the first independent report, we then they expect say then we'll put out by the 26th of this month. Of course, a question being arise, how then go on a scale of 10, on a scale of 10, how much then go from 1 to 10, I beg your pardon, how then go on for it, the whole process. And if there is going to be a runoff, which will be the stance of the Commonwealth. So the head of the Commonwealth observers go ahead and reply, say, firstly, they're not going to be unfair or let them just come inside, then they give from a scale of 1 to 10 on how they go. They're not going to be able to they're not able for phantom than they right now, because they believe, say, giving out a figure as to how they judge the process go down already undermine the electionary process. And as well as when it comes to the question regarding whether then therefore they, if runoff, say, well, if there be a runoff, I mean, he even brings some humors around that. He say, we cannot run away because of a runoff. So the Commonwealth will definitely get back to the table and see how they will continue to observe the process, Ezekiel. But the points be very clear in terms of that area there when it comes to reports.
Okay, thank you for putting the stay together. Fambo, if you just January, you will listen to the program Current Event live for TDN Africa Media, and don't forget to make your comments now with Facebook and the YouTube page, and also the number will appear on the screen. You can call me and or you drop a message so that you will get to say now the program. Remember, say you should get opportunity for tell you what they go on in your area, tell you what they go on in your town and your district, so that listeners abroad will know what may happen. Africa, Nigeria, you know, any South you be. So we continue with discussion on the Commonwealth press briefing we do today, and we don't hear waiting the Colindo say. The purpose of the media, of course, the Commonwealth is a big part of the observation team in order to see 2023 election go well, and people actually feel like say our elections paper and not fet, but our elections today, and we go do all what's needful for what we do, go to the polls and peacefully and come back and rejoice for the winner. So we will continue. And again, like you mentioned, AMADU, for say they don't get anything for sale now because they just arrived. I don't know if anybody they ask the questions, if the Commonwealth normally follow up on what will go on in Sierra Leone. So of course we get the media houses, we disseminate information on the internet, you know, they show live streaming at the Facebook and the internet. So I don't know if anybody they ask that kind of question to them, if they nobody follow up at all, or now when they cancel, now they know the problems. So I don't know if any one pound they ask that kind of question.
Well, question like that, literally not being come up. To be honest, just for clarity, now make a try for this year together. But again, make I just make this clear. Questions like that not be arise because the journalists then we said they expect say the Commonwealth for the follow up because they get the secretariat na salon na yasu. So as according to what we understand that every complaint don't be channeled to that office day, and that's not the reason why they want to get an engagement with the stakeholders and institutions, because them believe say before they will come out and say anything on them till the day, then for don't get engagement, and if they don't get engagement, then will barely make a judgment on what's really they happen, as according to what's the head of the Commonwealth group Yemi Asimbajo, Professor, winner in the former, the immediate former Vice President for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It states that they clearly say, of course, some of them in there not so salonomo. Elections always where the Commonwealth can go observe, according to the professor. Now that the cry, especially from other political parties, can come up, especially opposition parties. Say, but normally waiting the Commonwealth can focus on more on the leaders there. They emphasize than the Commonwealth they focus on the leaders of institutions, the leaders of political parties, because in belief say in all of this, now leadership get for tell. So even a question arises when it comes to somebody say, as it is, the Commonwealth, they serve as doctor as a physician in the case of peace. According to the metaphor we somebody make na the all day. Say Commonwealth, they serve as the physician for peace. And the patient then supposed to be the political parties or the leaders. But as in this case, when it comes to the cure, after the Commonwealth don't give their own points and the mandates and waiting the day for, the person suggests say, the clear for say, the people that move this country, now they get for remedy themselves. Right? So that point they come up. And the Commonwealth head, Professor Yemi Asimbajo, go ahead and say, of course, they go on for agree with that person there. He said the remedy of this whole situation, they in the people, which is to say, number one, the leaders not get for come back to the people and try for use them for the wrongdoings, but they will come out and say the honest truth about how they know the work out politically, because in the league say, formerly as a politician, and now it don't come as an observer, but in believe say most times then the politician then they get what them to do when it comes to politics. So it actually say squarely the peace and democracy of the country, it rests on the hands of the common citizens then na the country, and that's now they no more get for creates the enabling environment for a free, fair, and a credible election. So when it comes to the media, of course, question they arise how they will help for protect media houses. Well, the head of the Commonwealth Observer Group, Wickham Masalon, states say one, every media house get for no say then get for be impartial at this particular moment, because this not so like the normal time, and certain thing the way you go say or certain thing the way you go report will come with problem. But of course, the Commonwealth day for freedom of expression, which is to say journalists then for able to get the opportunity for report news, no matter how the news take, but they've already free will for report the news as long as now credible and unbiased reporting then they do. So then call on the media houses then for just stay impartial, because for now the only way the Commonwealth will able to speak up to now in the area of making sure that journalists then get the platform for reports and nobody go against the mandate we give them the rights for report situation. And then also there was a question we come out from a female representative who begin at the whole day. We asked say what's in the Commonwealth go do in order for look into the area where they talk about the 30% participation of women in the political landscape. Firstly, it asks if the Commonwealth Observer Group will therefore look into that with political parties then for CC they adhere to that. And of course, in response to that particular question, the head of the Commonwealth Group Observer, we come for this 2023 multi-tier election. HE Professor Yemi Asimbajo, the former immediate vice president, for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, response say, of course, one of the things that the Commonwealth particular about is about the empowerment of women when it comes to political participation. Say, so that's not something where then they pay attention to, and then don't they monitor political parties then through the secretariat, and then will continue or engage the party then for make sure say the participation of women is widely broadened in these particular elections where they come.
Okay.
Ezekiel.
Okay. That's understandable. And again, we know say the Commonwealth, that's how they get them powers because everybody knows now people will get wealth experience on elections, wealth experience on the politics, wealth experience in terms of justice. I believe say they also get somebody will get wealth experience in terms of the security sectors. But again, I don't know if they respond to any question like this. Why they arrive to this time? Because you don't have like 4 days to elections, and we just see them. And when I ask them questions on Monday, why they arrive at this time, they look at and say they arrive like too late, small to the elections. In order for CC how they go for addressing small thing them, just like we put them just to say, the Commonwealth get for engage the ECSL and the other body them political parties for no saying for just for understand one of the challenges already they face, and if you go in line with waiting the office Nayana Salon puts together, I think that's the kind of response again for me. But like looking at the arrival time and to the elections, someone look someone look near. Then for London, I'm very early. I would also expect 2 weeks to the elections, then they come to the country, just so for understand the systems of the elections, how they go. I don't know if they get any response to that one.
Well, in all honesty, nobody will be right that question as to why now the Commonwealth will come. But I think in his statement, in one of the address, then we make the fact that most of the complaints don't be channeled to the Secretariat, Commonwealth Secretariat, and the Commonwealth Secretariat they work upon it, then issues and then also therefore join them, then come as observers. And why make them come now? It was not something we open up. So where they open up and say, oh, this is not the easy way make one can quick and this and this. But just that the state say they don't come, and then go there so until the end of this month, and for CC we get a free, fair, credible election, and then we'll make the new recommendation by the 26th by putting out the first independent report. So no excuse not be given as to why and how they come, and it is believed that they will get for come now because now not the time way the Commonwealth will get for put them together, because from what I understand, these are experts from different countries, according to what they say. Different countries, South Africa, Kenya, just the Commonwealth countries, so to speak. All the Commonwealth countries, now they then choose some few of the Commonwealth countries for able to come and can be part of this particular process will go on.
Okay. I think I want just read one paragraph of the line, or the statement where the chairman for the Commonwealth make. He said, we will observe the pre-elections environment, polling day activities, and the post-election period. In particular, we will consider whether the conditions exist for credible elections, including a fair elections environment, whether public media has been impartial, the transparency of the entire process, whether voters are free to express their will, and their counting and result process is transparent. So looking at what they put together and the statement is that they actually get to look at, before we go to the polls, they get to look at the environment, the political environment.
Exactly.
And then get to look at also the polling day activities and the post-election period. Then from there, they get for determine whether these elections were done conducted, whether it's credible or not. So, like you put on just no say, after the election on the 26th, they get for make their own report. And I don't know if there are any questions or responses from the media sector, so or whosoever when you attend the conference, whether I ask in the case we are in, then final say the result is not credible, putting at the stance of the Commonwealth. So that one there.
Well, me and you don't say when it comes to observation, you just for observe. Election observations get rules and regulations, and then rules then they govern not just local observers, but as much as election observers. And when it comes to the output of results, normally in the report, then go state waiting and then think about the results. But I not believe say the Commonwealth go on for meddle into them be much because then they believe say as an institution, firstly, they're supposed to be independent to the point that they know they come for tamper with the job of institutions where don't be established by law where now supposed to carry on to mandate. So to them, one of the loudest strategy where they use now engagement and consultation. Because for them, if they get anything where they're not okay with, instead of them just come out with recommendation, then they engage the people that were involved first. And after they don't engage the people that were involved first, then they can finally decide or come out with a resolution. But it been clear, say they make them very, very open that for now, then stands on waiting will get for happen on the results or whatsoever, that then are just an independent observer will come from independent process and then put them findings them together and present them back to the people of this country.
Okay. I think it's beautiful. Just like what you highlighted during the conference. I think it's fine for we get a Commonwealth presence at the elections because looking at the issues where they go around, Sierra Leoneans they look forward for we get a credible elections. Even though we get issues around, I think with the presence of the international, we know say just like we put with the vice president of the Commonwealth team, we lead Sierra Leone. He put say most often the opposition's more than they drive fouls, So I believe say the opposition they look somehow they get motivated or they get the courage for going to elections because of the presence of the international at the elections. So I believe say with them presence, because according to way I read the statement, they're ready for observe the elections during the day for elections. They make sure say then go outside in the open outside and they do the opening of the elections. They make sure say then they continue for monitor. And they make sure say they continue to the closure of the polling centers and not only closure, and will also continue for observe the counting and even to the final result.
Exactly.
Then go there. So they kind of with this, I believe say opposition parties, not only APC, but other small parties, even though they don't click to them, small, bigger.
Exactly.
Political parties. But I believe say with this, it don't give confidence for them the APC as a major opposition party for they're not scared or they're not able to boycott the elections. If we get forget election going into fall, then this will make them go into the polls and see just like when Dr. Samura Kamara when are the presidential candidates for the APC, as he put say the ECSL for resign, the international, but they can't take place. But again, when you look at it, not just kind of, but we thank God for the presence of the international, don't they come? I think say let's have them ready for do all them best because when somebody to observe, not get the power for take the hand pull up, but like it is see exactly what they do. If you know say they do something we not fine, at the end of the day, they make a report.
True.
If they do something we fine, at the end of the day, they also make a report. So whether good or bad, they make a report. So this is just like a message where we will send to the ECSL and the incumbent government to say international observers in there. And looking at this one, a little get weight. Yes, because messages don't go around on the social media in order for us to say, hey, it's your own elections and all the challenges and so this that make so this look get weight that everybody don't focus on this. And this week, therefore, be so involved in for political parties,
Exactly.
for the ECSL, for the everybody, as long as you know Sierra Leoneans, you get for take part in the electionary process, you get for be busy. So so family, if you just join me, this are current events live where they come from TDN Africa Media. Stay tuned and continue for make a comment. We go read them. Love yourself, get your own opinion towards the program. And don't forget again, this program you get the opportunity for let you make you tell me report on what they go on now your area, tell me what they happen there. Of course, you know, say this now campaign time and politicians they go around and campaign, tell me what they go on in your area. Well, always say understand saying that this and this now they go on. The number where they not the screen so call me and we go talk to you. And so continue for stay with me as they continue for discuss current issues them where they happen in the country. You know, the Commonwealth don't get in conference today, engaging media houses and then tell them what's not the purpose, why they're there for, and therefore observe the elections or see how the electionary the process they go on until to the final stage where elections will commence. So we want to continue again with the program current events and we want to continue for look into the Commonwealth conference where and so remember say reporter been covered that story there and AMADU. So again a lot of things that we get for you. We will continue for them the opportunity for like continue for talk on the press conference where the Commonwealth goes. So what are important things again where you get for share to you, AMADU?
Yeah, of course. One of the most important thing then we come out now the event, now the fact that the head of Commonwealth highlights a number of people then within they assume say now they register. And you know there's this thing about data, there's this call about data for this particular election, yeah, so especially we get for do it the main opposition party. And so we are inside the Commonwealth give figure of 3.3 million people that wouldn't think say are not register for votes inside this election.
3.3.
Yeah, 3.3. I believe say it's not an not so like an abstract figure, but a figure we then get as according to our ECSL report on how many people then we don't register. We register for votes in this election. But of course, me and you know say the arguments for the data and I that people believe say naturally people anyway they don't register for this election. Possibilities they say they know they are alive. Some go don't travel outside of Sierra Leone. Some we already know say some might not be getting voter ID card. So all these things for be included in the in the data. Another some they get mismatch of name, sex, mismatch of photos and all that. So I think say the problem with the data not so really about the number of people that we vote. We register again. It's about how many of people we get for votes now. That is to say, how many people will be votes, but ECSL gets confirmation. See, then people they have maybe they know they are alive again, and then will get for votes because everybody want for them on the safer path. You know, one for suicide something, God forbid, me auntie will be die last month. You understand? You know, one for see somebody they go vote for her. And then kind of situation then they people then they really look at when it comes to the data. But we still say then give a figure there, which you know go say na standard figure, but then give a figure there for just show say as in response to waiting the ECSL don't give them now up to 3.3 people them.
Yeah, 3.3 million.
3 million
registered
people
voters.
then now they don't register for votes in this election. So you can begin to wonder who side why pull data for get that kind of figure there. And we still they get problem with the data business as political parties still they come out with them figures.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, but since the Commonwealth now, of course, my member country to see alone, so I believe say some informations, from some information, you not get for me in secret, and just get for share am to international bodies with concern.
True.
But let's just like you put this not the number of the number of people that we register, 3.3 million. We then tell you see they register. But like go on for produce the final list and tell you say the ECSL been delete up to 1,000 voters. We then claim say there is over voting take place. There is underage where them find out because yesterday
Over register.
over register, sorry, not over voting, over register. And also the final say some people where they underage, they also register. So all included in the delete, all included in then one day we then delete. So but according to the Commonwealth, this is not the number of voter list we register, we get for votes na the elections. But when the ECSL collates together, then find out say these not the problems. Some people don't even get the ID card. Some people they say they delete. But the most important thing is the side where they say they delete some people them. So the fact that they delete some people them, this figure it might be complicating.
Yeah.
Yes, it might be complicating. Because this figure actually now communicates say this not the people that we register.
True.
Yes. Where we don't know whether after they don't delete the number of the people that they know say they over register or they register and other centers them and they give them the final list. But like according to the Commonwealth, then saying the number of voters away supposed for vote exercise the rights for votes at this coming elections. And again, for the one that we actually register, according to the ECSL, the commissioner for the West, it always say, well, as long as you register, whether you get ID card, you not get ID card, to them, then describe these elections as whether you get ID card, you not get ID card, or else you register, you just get for votes.
Yeah.
But the fear here is we actually don't know or we not get any published list of the one that we didn't totally delete. Even though they count some biometric check where they check for your name. Some man when they check your name, you don't get your card, but when you check your name, you then go for the other side. But you don't get your card to the center where say go register. But when you click, you put in your own notification number. I don't know. That's the way you get number where you put. So when you enter this number, it give you other different information. It give different information. Some man don't check that one day. They don't put me on. When I check, I find I say na me own information I can. But some people they claim say another different information na in they come. So like all this put together, we not actually know whether the number of registered voter or registered people wey register for the elections, then one the way they delete especially been or them put them your list for know then say this are the number of people then we deleted na the data. And this is one of the concern again where the All People Congress APC, when are the main opposition party, raise, in the issues concerning the ECSL. They say they want to know the number of people where then delete na the system. And they want to know which side and why are register, which of the centers, which region, which polling centers where they register. They want to know so that will help them for know and go and do their own analysis in the total list where they poll. So you see, say, actually, in as much as the Commonwealth get for engage the political parties for look at a pre analysis on how the political environment look like, whether the voters actually given the rights for both votes, or then get them saying for both votes, because some of the things are all the way they mentioned at the statement. They want for say the people, Sierra Leoneans, were actually given the rights for votes during this election, and they not deprive them in certain areas. Then do I mean a free will? Nobody no company, nobody no can say this. They want to do all that kind of analysis and which is good, and which were all that they communicate for a credible election. So now so many look at in the area of the voter list, or the number of people that we register as the Commonwealth measure them at the statement. Yes, now so many look at it.
Yeah. All right, Famble. Then, if you just join we the program we watch now current events when it comes to you on TDN Africa Media. Remember, say yourself voice matter at this program, as you can do so by sending your text message to the number where is shown at the screen, or you drop your comments now in comment section. You can as well call me. We pick you call now the program. Call me on WhatsApp. We go pick them up and then make your voice be heard now the program. One for go straight now we inbox and take some of the messages and questions we don't they ask so far. We get from Aisha Kista, we say hello, me famble them. We have to say hello to you. And then we get Sankor Ishaka, we say this election will happen on the 24th of June. And then we also get Majoten Tona, we say the election go right is a question instead of the ask we. But where are the other media houses under the commerce for critical community communications? And then we get Arun Kamara. None of the journalists have questions the credibility and fairness of ECSL. And the other one say the Bar Association / civil society organizations, interreligious council to mention, but a few have been a total failure in the past 5 years owing to fact that they have been oblivious of the person left. And so extrajudicial killing, intimidation, harassment, police brutality, injustice, etc. that have taken place during these 5 years. Critical community, again, they ask another question. What will the presence of the observers do if the wrong deed is already done? And again, okay, I'll just respond to that one and they quickly. Somebody they asked me if the elections they right. From what we understand as a media house, election is set for take place on the 24th of this month. And of course, the Commonwealth Observers Group just updates the media houses of their presence and tell we waiting then they are for. But as a media house, for we know say the election then we announce them for the 24th of this month. Yeah, so we for happen this coming Saturday. So I want to say election they happen this Saturday based on the electoral calendar where they don't fool. And then again, somebody say, oh, journalists they not ask question. Of course, journalists they ask question on the credibility. In fact, it was the first question that was asked. Since the data not there, since the opposition party don't they talk about the things then where they go on, where they're not satisfied with. If the observer then still feels say this election is so for right. And that is why the Commonwealth Observers Group say for them when they come, they know they interfere too much into the processes. Rather, then they get engagements with the institutions where they're in charge of the processes, which is number one, the ECSL. And then go meet with the ECSL for try for know waiting na then stands in all of the allegations where they don't make against them. So as a Commonwealth, they go come back to the public, and if they get any other press conference where they go once for address the media on, then go get for call the media on them in the day. We want to go back to Facebook quickly and see the message them where we get there. My colleague Elijah go read them messages then day. And of course we can discuss some of the questions we wanna ask.
Yes, from the Facebook page, we get 3 texters. We text Ali Bangura say, all I want to know if the elections is going to right, sir. Okay, I think you don't answer them. According to the ECSL, we not get any official dates yet. Say the elections, this one will get for take place on the 24th June 2023. Will cancel. That day still stand, and we believe say the elections will continue. The elections will continue. And Ali Bangura also asks, say, what is the current situation going on now? Well, the current situation where they go on now, of course, the Commonwealth don't get a conference today with media houses for tell them, say, themselves don't come for observe the elections. And of course, now that they go on, and as it is now, we observe and just stay connected. We will bring you more information as to how things on the go, especially in Africa, yeah. And yes, something like so. Just stay connected, Ali Bangura. We will bring you more. Okay. Of course, this day asks for network something. Okay. Thank you, and Jenny Alex. Jenny Alex is black. I think the network we shake. So they ask for another follow relative. So go.
All right.
We
Okay.
technical experts. They look at
Go look at
the technicality of the and make correction on that.
All right, back to YouTube, and of course we get critical community communication. We say, what will the presence of the observers do if the wrong deeds are already done? And I beg to differ. It come up from Kamara that the opposition is crying foul. All the opposition is asking ECSL is for them to conduct themselves in a transparent, credible, and fair manner. And then Kamara again, they say, it is no science rocket to tell that ECSL has not been transparent, which is core in its mission statement. So if the commission is saying that it will not allow its system to be audited, is that fair? And Kamara again, they say, if we could remember, the ECSL chairman said the other day that every registrant will, with a slip, will vote. But this statement is false, as we have seen some of the pilgrims were denied to vote as their. Then it said names were not on the list. And Kamara again, why journalists are not diving into the attack on the opposition in the strongholds of the ruling party. And for answer to that question, in the press conference today, like I say, most of the relevant questions were actually asked by various journalists then. On the area of peace, I can vividly remember a colleague asked the question, what in Commonwealth go do since the leader them don't sign to the peace pledge? But however, we see say lots of intimidation continue for go on to the point that we see that the bit small picking them, yeah, because of politics. So waiting will be the intervention of the Commonwealth, more so when the opposition don't they complain about intimidation, where don't they face them? And this question, like I say, the head of the Commonwealth answer them this way. So then put all the burden on the leaders of this country for maintain the peace of the country. That's not something we will not say earlier on. All of these questions, then burden them on the leaders and saying the leadership get for try because they may not sign up to some of them in the YASO. And then for make sure say na thing them way them for are there to in order follow able forget the peace and the democracy where this country also forget or the strive to. Another thing again where somebody say na the comment and which we not go deny the fact that institutions have been silenced, then they nothing no go make person argue on that, ranging from the interreligious council where people then they expect say them for serve as moral guarantors, slash civil societies and other stakeholders where people then they expect say for don't they speak up to issues. And this not of today. Like we at TDN Africa Media, we've always been saying this and we will continue for sale. Institutions then they where they need or serve as watchdogs for the people of this country. But all the institutions then they not only be very, very effective. Is it as a result of the fact that then they afraid or let themselves not go get locked up? Is it as a result of the fact that then they afraid say, oh no, if politicians then they mob themselves, not so we are just civil societies, no go left. And we don't see in this country, they don't put a whole civil society man behind bars just because he want for protest against a law where being there for go against the citizens in the person of Edmond Abu. When he go against the floor price where the telecommunication company they want for adopt. Several things that don't happen at this country where I believe say don't make lots of people decide for say, you know what? Let me protect myself and protect my family. But a lot have been done so far when it comes to governance in this country, and the rights of citizens don't be violated. Senior citizens, journalists, you name them, but these are things where everybody they confront. Not so like people that don't want to talk to. People that they talk to. But these days where you want to talk to, you have to be very, very careful. It take you time where you want to talk the truth. So we still they continue for put smart and it's in them. And again, somebody say the opposition or they cry foul. Not so like they say the opposition they cry foul. The head of Commonwealth say normally in also even in the case of Sierra Leone, say in the world in electionary process most times they cry from opposition parties. You don't even mention one party. Most times they say the opposition parties and then can cry foul, and the foul then can they cry normally it can be genuine, not so like they can just one do one for do sake. That is why for them then things say now then they can engage the ECSL over some of the things them where they don't hear and where themselves don't get first-hand experience to since where they come down. And that is why the question then put forward today by journalists then themselves take them down and then go react upon them as then go to investigate some of them in the day. Of course, like what we been say earlier on, the Commonwealth observers, somebody asked say, what them presence go do? Now yeah, so them presence according to them go add to your experience, which is to say now the 12 observers group comprises of different kind of people them from different field of work. Then get people them way na justice them na their own country. Then get people them way don't want to be electoral commissioners na their own country. Then get people them way na peace and conflict expert them. Then get people them way na lawyers. Then get different kind of people them. So that is to say now the Commonwealth justice them for instance, then they can engage the justice system as alone and share their experience with them. That is to say, then they can contribute to we own electoral and business with their expertise. And then also somebody also asked, say, what thing then go do if anything come out, if the wrong thing be done in this election? According to the Commonwealth, anything will happen in this election go there in the independent reports where they go pull. But last, they no go meddle into the affairs of state institutions rather than go engage them or make sure say they do the right thing and at that then be end up for say just as when they put the question then true.
Yes, you're right, and AMADU, thanks for that. If you just join me, they listen to current events live from TDN Africa Media. We will go for a short break and we will come back and continue. Don't forget for tell you what they go on in your area. So we go for a short break and
now the time we for better, we country, we for come together as a family, live in peace and harmony. So during this election, that's not an option. During this election, we don't want no tribal division. All we want for see vote without violence. Vote in peace. Vote without violence. Till the end they say vote without violence. Vote in peace. Vote without violence. Till the end they say all we want for vote without violence. All we want for sin, all we want for vote without violence. Till the end they say all we want for sin. All we want for sin. All we want for sin. Now not the time we for better, we country, we for come together as a family, live in peace and harmony. So during this election, that's not an option. During this election, we don't want no tribal division. All we want for see vote without violence. Vote in peace. Vote without violence. Till the end they say vote without violence. Vote in peace. Vote without violence. Till the end they say all we want for vote without violence. All we want for sin, all we want for vote without violence. Till the end they say all we want for sin.
All right, fumble them. Welcome back to the program Current Events where they come to you on TDN Africa Media. Remember, say we there so for they bring you independent, credible, and unbiased news. And you set your voice matter inside this program. You can call me and tell me about waiting they happen in your community and give we your contribution as to waiting we discuss inside the program proper one. We still they continue with the program. Don't forget to drop your opinion in the comment section, and also feel free for share the live so that you go get other people them for benefits from the credible, independent, and unbiased news where you get from we. Also, if you not subscribe yet, we debate do and for do that because that will help we for grow as a media house. We continue with the program, and we still want for continue for analyze some of the comments then we come in, and then somebody say the ECSL is expected to be transparent, credible. Then one of the core value. That particular text message comes from Arun Kamara, and I think Arun Kamara very much right. The all doubts were surrounding this election to a large extent the ECSL creator, and the non they create that doubts they in people them up until the arrival of the ballot papers, where people then be expect say the ballot papers will not arrive on the 17th of this month as proposed by the ECSL. But we see say that's not happen up until today. Oh, finally see say the ECSL say the cargo then don't arrive at the airports. Where people then they begin to ask questions. Who side the ECSL been pull the first ballot paper? I've been on the listen to the external relation officer in the person of Albert Masakwe in one of them, the sister media houses there. Say the ECSL get the right for print ballot paper. The ECSL get rights for print ballot paper. So the ask and say, who side them print the ballot paper? Say na ECSL print ballot paper. Now inside ECSL office, say na ECSL print ballot paper. Okay, let's say there is a provision.
So actually, you know,
No. You know, who side the thing happen.
They just say na ECSL.
Na ECSL print ballot paper.
Wow.
Yes, and this again creates room for more doubts.
Sure.
Because people they begin they wonder now say, okay, yes, now few number of people then vote, agreed. But if now ECSL been get for print this paper, why they not be indicate that now the press release with them pull? if they may not say that they may get for print the paper and there is a provision we give them the authority for do that, then for state time, just like what they don't use for the put time, according to Ocean to blah blah blah, we they go ahead and print paper because we want to do this. That may be for send some amount of transparency as well. And in the process of printing these papers, the political parties, then before involved. You know, so the all doubts around this election, although the date still stands, because we see say the observers then they come, and now then they come in, then they respond to all the activities of the election. We even see say the European Union them in on there, and then they follow the campaigns of all the presidential candidate then, especially the ruling and the main opposition party where they contest in this election. Yeah, so you see say the observers don't they follow up. But still again, the people of the country, when are then get for take part in this election, when are then whosoever get for win, get for govern, don't begin to doubt the process. Because ECSL not don't be transparent in some of the things. You know, just grab number one morning, you do something, and when people that ask you, say now according to the law. Yes, nobody not going to expect say ECSL going to do something out of the law. But if even you to do something according to the law, inform people then. Information are power, and information very important in an election like this, because people they expect ECSL to be transparent. So me, as a journalist, the only time when ECSL call people them, where ECSL starts to engage the media on electionary business, I remember say now after where people then cry foul over the substandardness of the voter ID card. It was then the ECSL engaged the media for explain, and just like what somebody states rightly, saying that those who will not be able to go take the ID card can go vote with and sleep. But we don't begin to see challenges with that already. And ECSL, like you say, the Western Area Commissioner say, whether or not you get your sleep, but as long as you conscious say that you center and then you register, you forgo day on that day of election, just that you know we'll go in the morning, you'll go around 3 o'clock, we'll go confirm. But the question is, if already the one day when our early voters don't begin face challenge, because they just go with mere sleep and then end up not finding the name at the register, it's a cause for concern. Then a very, very great concern. So ECSL, in all honesty, if there is any doubt around the whole electoral processes, yeah, then for be very, very responsible enough for admit to the people of this country, I say, the chain of communication not don't be very, very genuine. Now one, all right, fumble them. We want to continue with the show, and I think we get a call from we WhatsApp. We want for taking this call here, and this now we want for take this call here. Fumble them, continue for the watch the program. Hello, your name and also you they call from, please.
Kamara, let me be the send the text. I call from New York. You know, I've done the following up program, and today I able for long for patient and listen. And Lego bless you now, when I do a very good job, a marvelous job. You know, ECSL, now they want to bring faith in the country, but just like I want to be talk, the journalism, the bar association, all the other organizations that would expect. This is the reason why we have people like Adebayo today and at the limelight, where people in the condemn and they criticize her. You know, but if other than that, will not be forget people like Adebayo, because then for the talk for me, they don't conduct several elections peacefully in the country. Why now when it comes to SAPP, they don't want to do the right thing? All the APCs asking, let's have a fair, level, transparent, and credible field of playing. But you know, look at the photo them make. They all make 5 fingers for Sweden to give the man 5 years. That don't begin to show say these people are not credible. You know? So Boku laughs is on day. When I talk say the ballot paper they on Saturday. Then it's Saturday when the ballot paper they for now. They go make a pre-voting of the pilgrims. And if the pilgrims say then go back, you will judge them. Most of their son, they not for vote, they say their name no day. So these are some of the fears them with and concerns the APC they raise. Say, well now people some of the information faceless, some of them are mismatched. Some are way you going at the system, in the final system go from back around. Just they able to correct the anomalies that they frailties that they flaws that they. So tell me too, in a bigger picture, look at the small and 250 people go vote for, so then kind of problem they don't be happy. What about the bigger picture where people will go at the polling station on the 24? Then mostly them problem they go happen at the stronghold of the opposition. Not to fret go kind of the country. So the media house, even the police themselves, they're not neutral because then they will tell the ECSL they do the right thing, but they don't tell them so that they're one-sided. Look when they attack people in Kailan, they attack people in Pujon, they attack people in Bont, Kenema, all over. Then they go campaign peacefully in the northwest. Nothing they happen. Then people sit down. Then tomorrow they can say that APC want to do this. It's very unfair, my brother. I'm glad this program I want to give people a chance for expressing their view and for talk. I don't want to take the platform, but kudos to now. I don't to let God continue for bless you now. I know say the way you talk, either they will attack you or you will suffer incarceration or they imprison you or they intimidate you. That make some people they want to talk, but they don't become silent. But they could speak truth to power. Let God continue for bless and protect you now. I thank you now for giving the platform. God bless you now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Aaron Kamara, for what you call now the program. All right, famble them. We still they continue with the program, and that's now one pan the people them we don't call me so far now the program for tell we what's in themselves think about this election yaso and what we discuss inside the program yaso. Yourself can call and make your voice valid na the program by calling or texting the number where they show na the screen. We go make sure say we pick your call or we read your message out. Also drop your comments in our comment section. We go read them out and make sure say your voice be heard inside this particular program here. So continue for the watch TDN Africa Media. Feel free for share the link. Feel free for as well subscribe because now that's gonna make we grow as a media house. This now the program current events where they come to you on TDN Africa Media. Who say we they talk about things where they happen and we can't see like now make we analysis and as well take your own voice inside the program. Call me and tell me what you think about all what we discuss now the program. And we want to go straight to the next topic we get to do with the PPRC, the engagement with the police, the ECSL, and the All People's Congress Party. And that's the take place at the Bintumani Conference Center. And Ezekiel, we see finally, so to speak, after where the APC promised for demonstrate peacefully against the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, we see the PPRC, the ECSL, the police, have finally called the APC to a meeting. What do you think say that mean for this election?
You see, sometimes we get for play a fair game, so that people not go throw blame to you. When you play a fair ball or a fair game, things you don't have avoid many problems where in future people want for cast the blame to you. And first of all, I want to just thank you to Mr. Aruna, where be the first caller for contributing to the program. And we also encourage other listeners to make themselves call we and give them your inputs as to how they bring out the stories of the current event. And so you see, there are a lot of things where actually don't surround this election. Where if care is not taken, the ECSL actually, like especially the boss, they will face problem. One thing we need to do is you get to realize say it is not above the law, and if you don't do the right thing, tomorrow the law will better themselves. So today is free because you get the power in your hand. they talk say, they resign, they talk say they do this, you get the power in your hand. But I tell you, when you go against the law of the land, it will suffer tomorrow. And tomorrow, the same people where they deny and the same people they call for it back. Looking at the engagement of the call where PPRC don't make for the ECSL and the APC together, and also the police themselves call leaders of the APC party for also engage them with regards to the peaceful protest or march. These are things where then for them they do them before at this time, because not to today or not to this week, APC don't they cry for things the way they monitor them. And some of them think they are PPRC they give them, some of them think that ECSL then they tell me in some extent say all them things they are no new to them as an institution. Because most of them here where APC they bring up, I think the way then don't discuss together with the party.
Yeah.
But like we know they see any area we say there is a solution towards this thing. We the public or with the media houses, we know they see a kind of defined solution to them problems there. So if you don't they actually solve these concerns, I believe say the APC for look at another way how for come inside and try for raise concern. But because of certain areas waiting they do or the responses where they give, they're not actually buy to that or go or accept that one day. So that makes them they continue for push. And it's like inside them one reach now, it look like say the BPR is not for Sudan, then just need for call the APC and the ECSL. Because of course, then are the institution where responsible for give a license to political party for operate as a political party or take part in the electionary. So you will give license to that political party and you refer them to the ECSL for later include and say, okay, this person already are illegal. When I take in political party, when I include them, then you say contest. So it's like you don't serve as the papa for bring them together and solve. Well, like, we finally say the PPRC themselves they get a new PAP6 because themselves I believe say that they get a copy, or if not, they not copy them, but then they see, then they read, then they get a glance of the different press release where the APC don't release at the social media with regards to the concerns where they don't raise, then say they see that one day. But then tend for be not for too much pay attention to that. Even the assessment where they do, or the 2 weeks assessment where they do with regards to the campaign, then say they bring out thing them say really when political parties they come up for do their campaigns, then they face with violence. But with all the engagement where they do with political heads or leaders, still they see violences they go on during the APC campaigns, during other political parties and campaigns, and more with any more cries on the opposition party and political parties. So and waiting and do so, he actually fine. But like me they say and say nothing in this way if we don't do before in order for can do and now because we dey still dey go closer to the elections and people dey expect say all the issues there we don dey address before we get to the election. But still if we still dey see the intensity or the intensity of the cases towards election and still some of them still are not solved yet. All these things are things wey we dey see say they actually undermine the peace of the election.
Yeah.
Because if somebody not happy at all, they say they go to elections, it's no problem.
Yeah.
Even though the government get the power because now they get the security for begin stop people enough for stop the elections. But I tell you, if I can say 70% of people are not okay with the elections, and I don't think say the election will go on because they will do all them power for just to say the election stop. So let the government say no underrate say election will go on because we get all the security apparatus, we get this, that, we get this. No, and remember say the observers not get any hand for stop let election not go on. No, then they no more for observe elections, how the elections will go. At the end of the day, they make out the recommendations. But the people get the power or go to an extent. If na bylaws and kick up and make this and stop, for no more the elections no go on. So like what you can do so is really fine. But like to me, nothing the way they for don't do before, in order for say they're able for settle down all grievances, they're able for settle down all concerns with political party they raise with regards to the elections. Because we see many things and at the CSF say even the ECSL, let's say sometimes they can contradict themselves. Then cannot say now this. Now the same people back they come and say, not to so we saw you. I believe an institution way for show credibilities in the activities, way for show an amount of transparent, their messages, they need for actually check the message, not for go forth and back. We see when they're ready for count the ID cards, they don't put the date, find one. And everybody hopes say the ID card they come. Then go back and tell you, say, we saw you we get problem with the plane where they count the ID cards. People begin doubt. The same thing repeated again with the ballot paper. They then give it date, fine. Everybody anxious and ready for that day.
Forget about the ballot paper.
And not go far.
I beg your pardon.
Yes.
The 11,000 boxes, ballot boxes, where we lent from Guinea. And that lent in day. We as media house, TDN, we were called to be part of the process for cover that particular event day. 2 days, then put we alerts. How then collect the vote, the ballot boxes then? We not be ever the part of that process they again.
So that they tell you say the messages always they go forth and back. And so people they doubt the integrity. They say, and most of them scenario where they don't do so, are very technical areas.
Exactly.
The voter ID cards, just like we make references to the ballot boxes, and now to the ballot papers. I mean say them for be very sure of waiting them for scan say to the people before them say I'm out.
Exactly.
But they're not for doubt say, hey, okay, sometimes we expect sometimes this. But may them get the assurance of them people here. Inside them they do them procurement, where they make the ID cards, so and the way they make the vote. May them get assurance say without no fail when I will get to materials this date. But like I don't know whether them can so much emotional in the way that as them allows them say, hey, when they crowd here, okay, fine. Law put press release. They know they check whether for confirm say when I sure say then they arrive and we country so time. I don't think say they go ahead and begin for action one day. All they can do is for just release press release. Then talk say now they did this, then say they come, and then come back and tell me say, I'm sorry, so. So all of them small things they are with the ECSL don't they do over the years. People actually don't they take their trust from them. And one thing back way for the ECSL to realize that then are the referee inside this game. So if the referee don't they play some foul or begin count some things away the doubts, where the players and so don't begin to doubt them. Then what about the competitors? The one the way they watch. How then you feel it's good day to watch the game? Then go take and say, but this game not better go. Because if the referee don't begin to corrupt the game and the players don't begin to doubt, then we when they watch the game,
we go see like a fixed match.
Exactly.
Now fixed match.
Yeah, I would say some man will not carry it. I would say, oh man, yeah, they are not carrying it.
Yeah, this is a fixed match.
Yeah, better not there. They are not wasting.
Before you
not wasting time.
yeah, before you Mara,
Yeah.
like what you say no more, Elijah, for help you with the analogy. When you play football, you know they be ref, you be player at the same time. It's not possible. You understand? You know they play football.
Yeah.
That is why you find out say even the new technique in football, if the ball jam the ref, what the player kicker, now they got ball. Now they got ball. That for say you say you know the ref, you play the ball at the same time.
Exactly.
Whereas first time like the ball jam the ref, when they run go, send the ball for one say. But for show credibility and transparency, say you as a ref, you cannot be a ref and be a player at the same time. You get for stay clean. And just for add to it, you say with regards to the engagement with the APC, the police, the ECSL, and that of the PPRC. You see, the PPRC, so me not for day no more for serve as the body we go there for regulate political parties there. But if also there as a body where they advocate on behalf of the political parties there. Because yes, it's supposed to be the one part of the activities, especially with concerns where they no say go and bog the political party them participation. Because if the All People's Congress, for instance, not trust the process of this election, it go and bog them participation, which is then they go inside the election, but they not trust the process. And if anything come out of the election, they don't go accept them. But for let them go able to get an open playing field, like waiting Arun suggests just no way call the program, an open playing field, it required of every credible free fair election. Let the political playing field just open. From campaigns, the dealings where the ECSL they do, because the ECSL, the way people then focus on now, we the spectators, the politicians now then are the player, you are the referee, we the spectators now, we the focus on the player there, but we always pay attention by you the ref. We don't see them game then they say, that referee, that penalty will blow against this team is not correct. And we don't go on for see that kind of thing there. We don't go on for see that kind of thing there. Be a ref, where if you blow penalty ball self, let it journey one. Not blow penalty ball because you see say they and beat that man. You want for member get edge. Or like come back into the game. Then you go blow foul against the other man so that you go give for nothing penalty kick to that man where penalty we all know say 10 chances na score. Penalty 10 chances na goal. You understand? You know certain is a person they miss penalty. As long as they give away sabi kick, it is score. So we not go want for make you go blow penalty in favor of Uda or the people that not say you for go blow the penalty against. That's the reason why the ECSL need for get clear openness. Personally, the deputy chairman of the party, the law rights ECSL on their openness. Personally, he sent letter to them. Personally, we don't see civil societies, especially like a new, don't write letter to them regarding the transparency and credibility of the institution where responsible for overseas election. So PPRC, back to what you have been trying for say, PPRC for don't make sure say they're able for advocates for them political party they also again to the ECSL because they're all a part of the election management bodies. And come to the ECSL say, look, these people they don't put up then thing they also say. Now the thing then where they not see say transparent. Number one, APC they ask or let them tell them what are them people they also where them procure the voters ID card from them. What are the contractor? Now ghost where we not for Sabia. Because one thing again where people want for check is the credibility of this particular institution. Where print their ID card there? Where then go give you ID card say, would they expect to get colored photo pictures? You go come with colored ID card but with black and white pictures. Where some of them, people are not even able to identify themselves. People are not even able to identify themselves. And for some of we identify ourselves in our ID card, them, although not black and white. But majority of the voter ID cards, me and you two know say, the pictures, they're quite unidentifiable by people. They're not able to identify themselves. Somebody showed me a voter ID card the other day. I say, well, you where you go to that pool day that they didn't get for denying you. Then get for denying you. So, for let them call the APC now and go sit down with them, like you say about the timeliness. Well, it is better late than never. However, their engagements there and something where them before don't do before this time. Because not until today the APC begin complain. And if person complain one, you don't listen to them. I complain two, you don't listen to me. Number three, you don't listen to me. While line number four, myself not the guy is for listening. Whatever negotiations where you go and call me to, I go resist. The reason why I go resist is the fact that I cry 1, 2, 3. You don't give me attention. You make me look like a fool. And now when it comes to the early voting, APC don't they make objections over this particular issue. Going to the point that if we not do anything like that, we know they put on, we know they participate. But we not yet go ahead with the election. Yet we not go ahead with the elections. Which, if we not announce the result tomorrow, then people will not accept them. You go blame them. This early voting, if we not actually announce the result, and the APC party, for instance, say they know they accept them, you go blame them. You not go blame them. A lot of people they say, oh no, APC they campaign as much as when they grumble. That is to show you that as much as then they oppose some of the happenings around the election, but then still ready for go ahead with the process. All that they ask for, that's transparency. Transparency of the institution. Credibility of the individuals where they had the institution. Because, trust me, if the institution not transparent and the credibility of the individuals when they're in charge of that particular institutions, all people then they question, then trust me, the outcome of the results, the tendency for less Sierra Leoneans then will accept them in good faith, a very slim. A very slim. And we not go on for see the situation indeed. We the hope say the engagement go come out with good fruits. Although we know say last it must be a technique for just engage the people then for let them not go ahead for waiting them don't plan.
Which are the saying politics? The one way to say politics I think I agree with it. Because actually the kind of body the way they set up in order for you to play them, for let them bring players together can play the game. That makes it a game. You know, just like the actual football game as a nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now they say football game don't be so modernized that they say that it's a kind of complete fairness on the camp.
Yeah.
But there are things the way they do now if you do you're out.
Exactly.
You know, and I think say if we really look at the politics side, I think that will be fine because we need to actually modernize democracy. We need to go back and see democracy as a system of government and see how to bring in some new practice. But like we see the Western world they take, you know. So Africa as a whole, we need to actually embrace the new system that we don't come inside the political.
True.
In order for when we get a fair level game, when we get a kind of win-win game. Now the game at the scene say a supporter of so football club, they accept defeat.
Yeah.
I don't see where fans they accept defeat.
True.
Yes. Because then actually the say when they tell the player say, now we play as 6-9 blunder.
Yeah.
That ball will for us one. When he blunder, because he makes so, or he late for that, or he late for this, or he don't cross the ball. You know, when they see that one day, I will see supporters they do so. But when it comes to politics here, hey, I've let me see the player in the take the ball, push his hand, in a set hand. Then they talk say, they don't take the ball like that. You know, that is show the kind of loyalty wey people don't show in the politics that I like somebody wey dey support you back. If they talk say, that's not correct. In fact, then they give all adjective words in order to present the player positively into the public. And at that trend they really see say we are using politics. If we do not change the way and manner we think, how they support the politicians. They just they talk say yeah. Because the way they tell you say me, I like I die. I APC party, I SNP party. So we want to go for a break and we will come back and continue. And yeah, so stay blessed and hope good.
Now not the time we for better, we country, we for come together as a family, live in peace and harmony. So during this election, that's not two option. During this election, we don't want to tie by division. All we want for see without violence. For peace. Till the end they say without violence. For peace. Till the end they say all we want for see. All we want for sin, all we want for sin. Till the end they say, all we want for sin. All we want for sin, all we want for sin. Now not the time we for better, we country.
All right, fumble them. Indeed, all we want for see during this election, I vote without violence. Because we want to get a peaceful Mama Salon. This is not the time where we all for come together and better this we continue. The music we just listen to, now the message we here in Africa media put together in the music form for make sure say we maintain a vote without violence and make sure say people then go out on that day for go exercise their civic right. As much as we talk about the issues where they around the whole election, last, people then get for come out and go vote, whether they come for go votes, because change will only be affected through that you want votes where you get for go another ballot box day. If you just join with the program where you they watch, now current events where they come to you live on TDN Africa Media, remember say yourself can be part of this program here so by sending in your text message or call me to the number where they show on the screen. Or you drop your comments now we comment section both on Facebook and YouTube. Feel free for share the live so that we go get other people them or subscribe and then serve for benefit from the independent, credible and unbiased news we they get from this medium. As now that's normal, we there for call we. Tell me what's in the happen around your surrounding as well. Or make a contribution na the program we the thing that we discuss about inside the program. Not forget, this is TDN Africa Media, and we there so for bring you independent, credible, and unbiased news. And today we will look at the Commonwealth, the press conference with the all na the I beg your pardon, the press conference with the all na the same blue this morning. Usai the Commonwealth Observers Group, the updates people them on the CAM1. And telling family them what's in their own mandate and how long they intend for Denaya
And when they go get for pull the reports and they address members of the media, civil society, and other key stakeholders within the press conference this morning. And of course, we also talk about the engagement with the ECSL, the PPRC, and the police finally get today with the All People's Congress Party. And Ezekiel, coming to think of it, the police. We see the police been pulled this press release where they won the APC party about the fact that they don't give them the mandates for letting them go ahead with any protests. To me, this press release been very unfair. That's how I would describe them. It unfair and it been very, very intimidating. And now be another ploy for like tamper with the democratic rights and the freedom of speech, where you go say people then get country. A lot of people they say, oh no, APC they don't form for themselves. Oh, na fear don't they grip them and all that and all this. If they play a game, just like what they say, I'm not okay with the how the referee go the game. And the captain of the team don't call the ref attention. Say, ref, so much they go on. Them my head and they harass one player, you know they blow against the whole. But when they jam them and they no more, you they blow. Then, you know they listen. And for the police, before they don't pull this press release, in all fairness, they don't engage the APC force. Like when they don't do so now. But we see when I don't pull the press release, I see when I want to come on, I do regarding something. Okay, well, before they come out, why we not go engage with the ECSL force? Okay, we dey create a meeting. Who say once me una and the ECSL get a meeting. But you know go don't put out a press release. You don't intimidate the man for let the man not come out now do. Where na the man in democratic right? After where you don't intimidate the man for making not come out now do, then you begin calling out a meeting for council done with you. So whatever the outcome of that meeting they go be, if a no resolve for be peaceful one, who that you go blame? You don't get nobody for blame, but you self as a body we're responsible for the security of this state. And the police don't get for forget one thing. Then they for protect lives and property. So if they therefore protect life and properties, then therefore do them for all of the citizens. Who don't want protest who? Who don't want protest who? As long as the citizens of the state and then get right to the freedom of expression. Especially when this is a time where people then feel say their own fundamental human rights, where the rights for political participation don't be trampled upon. Where the people then get for going to that center on that day, if they don't get opportunity for vote, owing to the fact that something, some man go to take and say, oh no, I be registered, but I go now for go vote, my name not in the votes are registered. Automatically, they don't trample on the rights of that person in political participation. When are the right to vote? And this now an inalienable right. So I go describe her. You're not going to pull her inside somebody who make a decision as to who's kind of leader if for two. We all get with differences in terms of party, in terms of how we think. But in this particular case, the police will serve as an independent body. We always don't see say some cases and the way you go to a police station, between your neighbor, the police and then go end up for make peace between her. So why we not see in this case, let the police say, okay, well, now we therefore make sure say everybody is safe. And we don't let any demonstration take place. So what you want for do now? ECSL, here is a table. Here is Unayon seat at the table. APC party, here is Unayon seat at the table. We as independent person, we won't let this problem solve. Because we want to make sure say the life of citizen is well protected. The properties of the state and other private institutions is well protected. Because we all know, say, anything will happen at this country, also, you go lost Sierra Leoneans, and we will not go want that kind of situation in day. You go lost government property, and we not go want that kind of sin in day. So the police for serve as peace mediators or as a mechanism for resolve a particular situation where the non-say get the tendency for create instability. Now that's one of the role of the security sector as well. For able to identify possible insurrection or something will go come with misunderstanding in the country. And if they identify them, therefore come out genuinely and able to address that in there. And this is one of the things where maybe if you say the police before don't act upon them, long time. Not a way, I beg your pardon, way APC don't pull press release or do a peaceful march to the ECSL office in order for make them demand be heard by the ECSL. You pull a press release, you say no, we not permit you now for do any march. If you not do any march, you don't go against the laws of the land. Why are you intimidating them? They don't get rights for protest for their own fundamental human rights. Then they go be one of the biggest questions where people then go ask. So sometimes, what you will try for say to the police is this. Una role, now for make sure say, we get a stable country. Una role, now for make sure say, una apprehend criminals. Una role, now for make sure say, una provide independent security for every member of the state. Yes, now because una they make we sleep na net. But in this particular case, we sleep na net, but we afraid say sometimes anything can happen. Because what happen? Even in the police, people don't point finger finder when it comes to this election. Because we don't see who say the All People's Congress don't be stopped by police for access certain districts where they go for go campaign. And it is unfair to the whole electionary process itself. It is not only unfair to the APC, but it's unfair to the people of this country. Because you don't get for can stop me for not listen to a certain politician. We just get for listen to all the politicians there. And then we make decisions as citizens. But if the man want go to a particular district, you just stop and say, man, you don't go inside it. As a police, as an independent body, we go there for secure the lives of them particular people and they, but you don't go be now say, no, una not pass so, una pass so. Una not do this, una do that. The police get for try for stay neutral in all of this. Una show una independence so that nobody no go down. So the engagements, although they say it is better late than never, but we hope that the engagements with them go yield dividend. Because if not so that, we're not going to see a case. We say like what you say no more. People then go votes that day. Then something happen where they're not satisfied and heap commotion at the polling center. And if we are in such cases, then past 10 centers in this country, and especially in the opposition strongholds, it's a recipe for chaos. And what's in that they mean? Any results will go be announced, it not go be accepted. So the police do ya with the big una. Sometimes before they step into issues, especially political issues, una for be mindful before they step in. Because once una put una foot inside, automatically then go tag una as una they serve the government of the day, which we all understand. Say the police, the government will sit down and decide. All my understand that, but you get for do them independently. You get for no say your own body as much as the commissioner for the police, the inspector general, I beg your pardon, for the police is being appointed by a politician. But una for still get that awareness, they say una an independent body. Una an independent body. And if una take una independent stance in any of una operations, una go see how the people of this country they embrace una. This thing about police taking side with political leaders or taking sides with politicians, it will stop. It will stop. And there have been lots of questions around that, particularly during this 2023 multi-tier election. And we think it is not good for the democracy of this country, and it will undermine the credibility of the police force. Therefore, let the police try to be very, very, very careful of how they put out statements, especially when they react to opposition people there. We know, we don't have a problem with the ruling governments because nobody knows the better the hand with the feather.
Yeah.
The hand where they feed you, you know the better.
Yes. I think one thing back where I find out, AMADU, is that with all this time where the opposition party they raise concerns, we find out say the opponents when are the SLPP, they're not to that they raise concern. And in a football game, if one game or one party they raise concern more, the other one is okay, then you go begin find and say, oh, that is a problem, you know, or yes, that is a problem. Or sometimes again, when you look at the football game, you find out say, if one particular set of opponents raise a concern, you find out say the other party must say something towards that.
Yeah.
Whether okay, let's say they want change player, and you go see say you go also see the same thing they happen at the other team, and or something they go wrong at that team. You must see a comment from that other team, just so for there you see say the game go on well. But when you look at the political game, as long as me own party is in favor with waiting the referee they do, then I am okay. You know, except when I believe say you want to come in an area where I myself don't hold, then I will begin ace me out. That exactly happened when we see say when the APC opposition party organized a conference, we understand say it make mention about giving 72 hours ultimatum to the ECSL boss for resign. That was the time we know say the SLPP they organized conference in order for raise concern for Kamisa and hits that area there. And when you look at a statement, they don't actually go in for any political party in order for bringing them in, but rather for talk to the head, talk to the police sectors, talk to the supporters, for stop for victimize the opposition, the supporters, you know, when they do their campaigns. That was the statement they said at the press briefing, you know. But like we see say, you know, we see the SLPP they ace their aid because of the church some areas. But like the issue of the data, the issue of these, when the opponents with the raise concerns, we know that actually the CC, then they kind of say something towards that. Because I believe say that voter list again for do with all the political parties. Themselves then get for need out.
Sure.
What if there's a turnaround with the election? They get any evidence, they get any registered voter way for defend, they need them. Everybody need that, even a smaller party, they say they need them.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes the two parties or the opponents them they get for actually play a fair game here. You know, in order for CC, they get for get a back in tomorrow for support then case. If you don't get evidence, how are you going to support your case? You know, you need to forget evidence based. You need to forget raw something for defending you tomorrow. This now a game. Maybe you never can know how this game get for be. Maybe that one where they cry foul. As we now go into the game, then they announce the winner.
Exactly.
Then one for seeing how you know be the talk, you stand to areas, you know be the talk, you know be the they see the talk. Now the time this you want for talk, oh yeah, not true. waiting this, then they raise, now through bing bing, now just because of, no, no, it is too late for you. There is nothing where you present, people go take it serious. So sometimes, me they just say, let a fair game day between political parties in order for play this game free and fair.
Yeah.
No wonder it is called or it is being described as free and fair because it's a game.
Yeah.
And it's still the pinpoint in the idea of game.
As
a political
no,
party.
you already know say
Yes.
politics. The reason why people then they call a game, to a large extent, na game.
Of course.
Because you think about how political party and structure they start with executive.
Yes.
Anything we don't get competition, it don't be a game.
Yes.
And
exactly.
anything we don't get somebody we get for serve as judge or a ref, it don't be a game.
Game. Sure.
And just like for allude football game to elections, why make people then really want for make them like let look like a football? Then they set that example with football and that. Football they deal with 24 players with one referee, and then 24 players. Then they, if na a football club, they all come up from a different country, from a different background. So then they expect the ref to be fair to every one of them, regardless of in country where in come out, regardless of the race. And so now in Sierra Leone, when it comes to election, the political parties, now then are the player. All men come out from different regions, different tribes, and of different political belief and sentiment. So the referee where they play this game before, therefore be fair enough. So you know go get people then they allude football game with elections based on the natural nature of football and that of election itself. You understand, eh? So the whole thing ECSL needs to be transparent. ECSL, the game na the hand it day. The game na the hand it day. Because we not going to let them do anything tomorrow, then people then can question. Before we they go, we want to let them know say the engagements they go on, the outcome we don't know yet. But when the outcome come, we go there also back for analyze the outcome of that particular meeting day where then they get so now with the APC. It is better late than never, but we still think say this engagement for don't be done prior to this time. Especially once it get for do with the maintenance of we peace. So the engagement is nice. We wish the ECSL, the APC, the police, and the PPRC all the best in that engagement so far. But we the people of this country, before we they left for now, when we waiting they come out from that engagement. And after we don't get waiting come out from that engagement, if we are still going to go ahead with the election come Saturday, let nobody not sleep. Go vote Safu. Can't sit down at your host Safu. Wait for the result Safu. If now una win, celebrate Safu. If not so una win, just be a Safu. Because what happen now, one grain salon we get, and we want to make sure say the peace and stability of this land is being maintained. Now also the program current events will come to an end today. We're telling her plenty thank you. We always take part inside the program, especially those who are sending the text message. And the one who will take the time for call. We want to say plenty thank you to Una. Una continue for the Watch TD and Africa Media. As we go always there for the bring Una come, the independent, the credible and unbiased news as na that's make within a year. Where don't they bring the program current events can so in a my name na AMADU Esba, they say tata. And until we meet again, have a wonderful day and a fruitful week.
My name is EZEKIEL Ekoma. They say bye-bye. Thank you for watching.
Now the time we for better, we country, we for come together as a family, live in peace and harmony. So during this election, that's not an option. During this election, we don't want no tribal division. All we want for see.
Vote with a violence.